Hi everybody, let's continue our revision. We are in Unit 2, Computational Thinking and Programming 1. In today's video, we will be covering some of the Python fundamentals. Alright then, without further delay, let's get started. Here is the outline of this video. We will be discussing different tokens, then we will understand what is the structure of the Python program. We'll go into the depth of one of the identifier, that is nothing but variable. Then we will get an idea about dynamic typing, what is L value, R value, and how to take input and display output. Alright, let's start with the tokens. There are total 5 tokens. First is keyword, second is identifier, third is literal, fourth is operator, and fifth one is punctuators. We know that program is a set of instructions. That instructions we write in the form of programming statements. And that statement is consist of tokens. That's why token can be defined as a smallest individual unit in a program. Just like in real life, we create sentences and in that sentences we will have words as well as some punctuation symbols. Here is the list of some of the keywords. All will be written in a lowercase except these 3, true, false, none. These are special keywords in which the first alphabet or first character is capital. The second token is identifiers. They are used to give identity to the different parts of the program. The way our name gives identity to us. In real life also, if you want to name something, we follow certain rules or certain common sense. In the same way, for identifiers too, we follow certain rule. As a first character, there should be a letter. Underscore is also allowed, but generally we don't write. As an identifier, we cannot use any keyword. As Python is a case-sensitive language, lowercase and uppercase letters are different. Identifier can be a variable or name given to a data type. It can be a function or class. So let's discuss one of the identifier, that is nothing but variable. Variables are name labeled. It's a reference to the memory location where value is stored. Look at the example. 4 variables are created. First is integer, second is string, third one is boolean type, and the fourth one is float. Here is the third token, that is literals. It is also called as constants. When we assign value to a variable, the right hand side value is called as constant. Here are different types of constants: string, numeric, boolean, none, and literal correction. Look at the different types. In string we have single line as well as multi-line. Whereas numeric literals consist of integer, float and complex number. True and false are boolean literals and none is a special literal. It indicates absence of value. And literal collections are list, tuple, dictionaries and set. Here is a program which demonstrates different types of string literals, numeric literals, boolean literals as well as the literal collection. The fourth token is operator. It operates on operand and it takes some action. There are 2 types of operators, unary and binary. Unary operator operates on 1 and binary operates on 2 operand. Plus and minus comes under both the category but not is a unary operator. And here is a list of binary operators which we will study in depth in the next video. The last token is punctuators. These are some special symbols which are used for organizing the statement. So let's revise the token. The first is keyword, second is identifier, third is constant, fourth is operators and the fifth one is punctuators. Moving ahead to the next topic, the structure of Python program. It consists of 5 different components. Let's understand with simple example. There is a user-defined function. We will study this topic in class 12. There are 2 statements. Following it, there is a if-else block. To execute the function, we must call it. So that is the function call. Look at the first statement, that is comment. Hash symbol is used to write the comment. It is an additional information about the program. The second component is statement. Statements are programming instructions which may not get evaluated. Then what is expression? It is also a statement but it will get evaluated and we will get some result. Look at this statement, A is greater than B. It will result into true or false. That's why it's an expression. Whereas A is equals to 10 and B is equals to 20 are statements. Even print is also a statement. Now let's understand what is indentation. If you know C, C++, Java, we use curly brackets to make a block of code. But in Python, we use colon to make a block of code. One level of indentation is made up of 4 spaces. Look at the simple example, addition of two numbers. The first two are statements, then we have one expression. Print is also a statement. And that is nothing but a comment. Look at the second example, greater of two number. Here are statements. If A is greater than B is an expression. Using colon we are creating the block. These two statements are a part of the block. There is one more block, else. So if you want to describe each block, you can write in this way. There are two types of comments, single line and multi-line comments. Multi-line comments are used in user-defined function. For that we use triple single quote or triple double quotes. Here is the definition of expression and statement. And what is function? It is a block of code which will perform some specific task. You can describe block and indentation with a simple example. Alright, proceeding to the next topic, that is multiple assignment. If you want to assign same value to the multiple variables, we can write like this. 10 is assigning to A, B and C. Even we can assign different values to the multiple variables. 10 is getting assigned to A, 20 is getting assigned to B and 30 is getting assigned to C. Even we can write the expressions on the right hand side. First the expression will get evaluated and then that value will get assigned to the variable on the left hand side. In the assign statement, the value on the right hand side is called as R value and the variable on the left hand side, it is called as L value. Hope you understood this concept. Now let's try to understand what is dynamic typing. Look at the example. 10 is assigned to X. It means X is referring to 10. Now we are assigning one string value to the same variable X. What does it mean? Now X is not referring to integer value, it is referring to the string value. This is called as dynamic typing. We are making same variable to point a value of different type. It is possible because Python is dynamically typed language. The data type of the variable depends on the value it stored at that point. Hope you got it. If you want to know the data type of the variable, we can use this function type. In this program, 3 variables are assigned and using type function, we are checking the data type. Age is of integer type, name is string and the price is of float data type. Hope you know in Python, numbers are of 3 types, integer, float and complex numbers. Hope you know how to give value to a variable. We can assign the value or we can take the user input. But how to give the user input? For that we will be using input function. Here is the syntax. We need to write input function followed by the prompt. Prompt is just a message. That message will get displayed and then we will be providing the value for it. If you will not provide the message, you will have a doubt what type of value we have to enter. In the first example, we are asking for name. In the second example, we are asking for age. And in the third example, we are asking for the percentage. But look at the second and third example. We are writing integer and float. Why this is so? Because by default, input function converts the input to string. And if you want to perform some numeric operations on it, we cannot do it. That's why we need to convert it to integer or float depending on the requirement. Alright, then we got to know how to take the input. Now let's try to understand how to display the output. We have used print functions, right? But what's the use of it? To display the output. Print statement actually takes 3 parameters. The first is objects. This can be messages or variables. The second parameter is a separator. If you are printing more than one object, then in between we get space because default value is space. Look at the third parameter, it is end. If you are using 2 different print functions to display message, then the second message will come in the next line. Why this is so? Because of \n. The default value of n is \n. Look at some of the examples. In the first example, we are printing some message. In the second example, we are printing 2 objects. Look at the separator. It is space because default value for separator is space. In the next example, 2 messages we are going to display. Look at the output. The second message is in the next line. Because the end parameter is \n, it is new line. It is new line character. It is one of the escape sequence character. Can we change the value for separator and end parameter? We can do it. Look at this example. We have written end as dollar symbol. And look at the output. The second message did not come in the next line. It is in the same line, but in between we got dollar symbol. Now let's try to change the separator. Here we have mentioned something else. Now look at the output. In between two objects we got the separator. Hope you got this concept too. We got to know one of the separator, that is nothing but \n. It is a new line character. If you want to print some special symbols, then we can use these escape sequence characters. Here is a list of some of the characters. \t is used for horizontal tab. \n we know. If you want to display single quotes or double quotes, we can use these characters. Alright then, it's time to revise all the topics. We understood 5 types of token, then we got to know the structure of the Python program. There are 5 components. We know what is variable now and what is the concept of dynamic typing. We also understood L value as well as R value. The value on the right hand side of the assignment operator is R value and the variables on the left hand side are called as L value. To take input we use input function and to display output we will be using print function. With the hope that all the concepts are clear, let's wind up today's video. If you have any doubt, drop them in the comments and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. In the next video, we will be revising data handling. So until next time, stay confident, keep practicing. I will see you in the next video.